The party have found themselves in a small town called Eastvale. But what murky secret lies beneath it all? And when the party start working for an employer, are they working for the good guy or the bad guy? Hit it!
Oh boy, it's been a while since I've been here, hasn't it?
Yes, we're now joined by Laurie, who plays Amelia Soranus, the group's tank.
Yeah, for lack of a better description, what she does.
Yes. Templar in training.
Yes, I shall just stand here and, come on, hit me.
Now I play the GM.
Which actually means you play every other character in existence in the world.
Yeah. So,
boy, does that get tiring.
Session 18 has been and gone and done us in. I don't mean the characters, I mean the players.
Yeah, we could have done it in, though.
Oh.
Considering. We almost did, actually, considering how...
Well, we're going to tell them all about it. We're going to tell them all about it. So, let's retrace the steps and start... let's see. Random designation... Oh, the beginning. That was lucky.
The beginning? Right. Don't you mean the prequel?
Yes. Click on session 17 to see the prequel. Just click the little arrow thing at the top and you bring it down. And
no, you've got to click session 1 for the prequel. Oh, wait a minute. Don't they have to click my stuff to see the prequel? But that would be my prequel. Oh, dear. We've got prequel to the prequel now.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I've got some in utero scans.
Oh, dear God.
That's technically the prequel.
We're screwed.
Alright, okay.
We don't know what we're doing anymore.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, you know what you're doing. I don't, but that's the point.
No, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
That's just, I want to tell them. I want to be the one to break it to them.
Oh. Sorry, did I steal your thunder? Yoink.
The group were quite out of sorts, and that was quite easy to roleplay, really, because you lot are always out of sorts, aren't you?
Well, especially with Diana and Karak.
That's why I tend to bring alcohol along to sessions these days.
Oh yeah, it definitely helps.
They found themselves a bit destitute, cold, getting run down, and decided, we need to get back and feel human again. We need a good change of clothes, find a bath, find a bed for the night, a real one.
It's enough sleeping out in the rain, because Ferelden smells like wet dog and it's always raining.
Yeah. So let's try and find somewhere, and Phelan, the dwarf rogue with them, came up with an idea saying, hey, I know of a small town nearby called Eastvale. Let's stop in on that. Now, we're going to be talking about another player-created campaign. You can see it in the list of available adventures here, with adapted as I see fit.
Oh,
so, we'll press on. So they find themselves in Eastvale, and they quickly meet the blacksmith, who doubles as the sheriff in the town.
Yes, he has to quickly change hats and such.
You stopped in immediately. Yeah, well, we laughed about that, and we said, "Oh, yeah, he's gonna quickly run to the inn because he's given them directions to the inn, and put a wig on and everything like that, and put a sticky moustache on, and quickly arrive behind the bar out of breath. Can I help ya?"
Oh, that reminds me of an episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The barman would be saying, "Look, you're not going to ask for local whores, are you? Because." To be honest with you, my dress is in the washing machine.
I think that's what did happen, actually, as well.
Sorry, it's in the dolly tub. Stained character.
Oh, dear.
In Alamari and Ferelden, you are a washing machine.
Oh dear goodness me! Here comes the Dragon Age animated shorts. At this rate.
Yes.
Oh dear God!
Because already our tops are animated. You stayed in the inn.
Yep.
That night, and then you had a knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Lightly.
Oh yeah, we had to share a room as well, by the way. So
Yes.
I had to put a curtain up for Amelia.
A common room.
Yeah.
between you.
Between the four of us.
So then you had a nice happening of being disturbed in your sleep. So you go to the door.
Well, Tanner will go to the door. It's like, what the fuck do you want? It's the middle of the night, mate.
Sword in hand, just in case. And there's a guy standing there, and
of course, I just do my typical take the piss. Housekeeping. In the middle of the night, we're getting housekeeping.
The guy explains, look, they've kidnapped my daughter. I need you to rescue her. And the village are watching me and they won't let me go. And the witch has put the village under a spell and I'm the only one not under it. And I don't know why. And you've got to rescue her, please. I'll give you stuff if you do.
I was basically like, before he even said, I'll give you stuff if you do, I was like, to this guy, okay, I'm going to ask this because I know these two are going to ask it. I'm pointing at Carrick and Tanadil at this point. What are you going to pay us?
Yeah, well, he mentioned that he had a nice sort of powerful sword.
Yes.
A bastard sword.
Yes.
And some potions.
And a nice set of full...
One of them being a weird thing, abomination potion type thing, unknown potion.
It was an unknown potion. Apparently the mage that handed it to him, one of the words he spoke before he died was abomination. And Amelia was like, right, if we're going to get that, I'm going to keep hold of it, because I don't trust anyone else, the rest of you keeping hold of that.
Yeah, so there were some nice things. Then there was a set of armour and all the stuff.
Not magical armour.
That he's got in his house.
Basically.
Some heavy mail, I think it was.
Oh, a couple of health potions, an Illyrium potion.
That sort of thing.
Heavy mail, magical sword.
Well, he...
and also I'll give you a sovereign each.
If you bring her back to me...
Alive, I think it was.
He explained that there was another complexity, that she is with child. And he doesn't know who the father is, and she won't tell him.
Yep.
And the whole village is under this witch's spell, and the whole thing worries him. And so you agreed to do the mission. So, next morning, off you go. You go to leave the village. Pretty straightforward. You don't ask around or try and get any information first about the supposed witch that lives out in the woods.
It's always in the woods.
Always in the woods. On your way out through the village gate, you are stopped by a man on the gate who tries to hold you up, tries to stop you from leaving.
Yeah.
I think about this, but he's just trying to sort of ask you where you're going, and you're trying to bluff him off and say, I just need a pee behind the tree.
Well, that was Tannendale's excuse anyway.
But I think at that point the group was thinking, I think this small place is actually bewitched by something.
Possibly, yeah.
Of course. The hook is, they're not. They legitimately want to stop.
Spoilers!
They legitimately...
Anyone who actually wants to play this.
They legitimately want to stop you from leaving.
But why?
Why? They've got the girl's best interests at heart? What? See, things are always a bit complicated, aren't they, with Dragon Age?
Moral choices abound.
And you certainly had one this time, didn't you?
Oh, bloody hell, yes, we did.
This was a good moral choice, this one. This was a damn fine one.
So...
Know your moral compass for your characters.
Yes, so we managed to get out of the village with some good bluffing from Tanadil about, I need a piss behind a tree, and Carrot going, spell over there.
Mind blasted some people down, and the guy looks, and then everybody does a runner. Yoink, yoink. Yeah, so then you're heading through the woods.
Yeah.
Towards the rough location of where you had it marked on a map, to where the witch's hut is believed to be.
Yes, and we're in the woods. What's the worst possible thing we could be attacked by in the woods? Oh, I know. Wolves.
Yeah, wolves.
We've had enough of bloody wolves. Just like in Heresy, we've had enough of flipping demons.
Have you noticed that in these modules, guys, if any of you have been trying to GM any of this, they're always throwing wolves at them, aren't they? I don't know. It's a good tier 1 staple, I think they feel.
Though it is a fantasy game, wolves are a common sight.
I mean, it's better than really ludicrous exotic creatures, I suppose, all the bloody time.
Yeah, it's like fighting griffins and hydras and manticores and other such creatures just randomly because they exist there. We shall do it.
Exactly. It's got a bit more grounding and.
Well, it's either that or brigands, really, isn't it?
Brigands but we did get our share of brigands hit. Well, marauding barbarians. Brigands.
It's a human. It's a similar deal.
Yes. So, anyway...
At least considering what they were, at least they weren't them.
Going back.
Yeah. So, wolves. Well, not quite wolves this time round.
Dire wolves. These guys have fought blight wolves, they fought marsh wolves, they fought normal wolves. This time, dire wolves.
Yeah, big enough for you to actually get on and ride if you, in D&D terms, are a medium-sized creature.
And they've got an alpha leader called Yellowfang.
Oh.
And he's bigger than the lot of them.
Probably could ride him.
Yes, you could. So, they attacked you in an unusual way.
We were just walking along and then... out the bushes. And...
Karak was staying behind using his stealth things to try and identify pursuers, and you managed to identify it, but they still burst out of nowhere.
Yep. They did it quite a few times.
They burst out, attacked, as you said, those, and then moved out, on.
Yeah.
And they pushed off away to the east, encouraging you to follow in a way.
We weren't having none of it.
You weren't following. Now, this was essentially what they were trying to make the party do. They were acting like sentient, in a sentient manner. They were thinking.
Yep.
They were trying to take you off the path.
They actually have a pretty good intelligence.
The truth was that the witch had instructed them to take anyone off the path.
Yeah.
That was coming. Because what they were trying to lead you to, just to dispatch any would-be troublemakers that your hires, what they were trying to do was...
Oh yeah, that's why we would-be troublemakers, because we haven't done anything yet.
You would have been led into an ambush with giant spiders. The spiders would have fired their webs. Then the spiders would have appeared and attacked. Then on round 3, the wolves would have joined in. But you weren't falling for it, were you?
Well, basically, let's put it this way. I guess you could technically say I was probably thinking slightly in and out of character at the same time, because I still kind of had the film The Grey in my head, so...
Right.
That film had quite a bit of the thing with the wolves there.
It really did.
Especially considering the alpha that was on that one. He kind of did remind me of Yellowfang. Or Yellowfang reminded me of him, really, I should say, because that's the way around we did it.
He was pretty crazy. But have you ever noticed in these fantasy games that wolves are never really properly portrayed as a dangerous creature?
No, as a packed creature.
Yes, but they would be dangerous.
Yeah.
A big wolf could rip your stomach open.
Yeah, a single wolf could probably take someone down in full armour. This part, if you're not wearing a helmet, isn't armoured. They get you here, you're dead. Tear the juggler straight out.
So, I mean, it takes into account that you'd be a good fighter, but they're surely more agile than you.
Oh, without a doubt, I would say.
How is it actually RP'd out that it's, okay, the wolf has missed its attack, and now you have hit the wolf?
And you have knocked the wolf senseless.
You know, how are you that good that you've done that?
Oh, the dice rolls favoured me. Yeah, real life ain't going to be favoured by dice rolls.
I think whenever it's something... Wolves are really tricky. You've really got to be getting onto that how you have got that experience and grit. Do you know what I honestly think?
The only way to RP that is if I have fought lots and lots of wolves. I know how they are.
I think somehow that wolves should be turned into an upper end creature,
or at least a slightly higher than they are initially intended to be.
Yeah, well, upper certainly, because their danger level should certainly be increased. You just make very good choices.
Good choices, good rolls, we get lucky. And when we get unlucky, it's because you roll so fucking high.
And when you get an NPC along, normally they cop it instead of you.
And they do fuck all. And I think Pete hates that. He's hated that ever since Warthrope.
Yes.
It's like, is this guy going to be doing anything? If he doesn't, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. Well,
I'll kill him myself, basically, is his attitude.
What's supposed to happen is the wolves are supposed to pull away, and Yellowfang's supposed to be able to try and get away.
He doesn't.
You guys killed nearly all the wolves.
And Yellowfang.
And took out Yellowfang, because I couldn't legitimately pull him away from the space because of the amount of big damage you had in on him. You actually screwed the plans of the module. The module has it that Yellowfang... It doesn't say Yellowfang may be killed. It says Yellowfang retreats.
We kicked Yellowfang's ass.
You didn't let him retreat.
We killed him like a couple of times.
You did not let him retreat. They kept hitting you and leaving and hitting you and leaving. They did everything to try and protect him. They had 2 wolves jump in his way, and then they had the rest try and run off, and then him run off with them, and then double back round and re-attack again.
And Tanadil was like, nope, not having that.
They kept going for the ranged.
Bump.
They kept going for the ranged guys, didn't they? They kept going for the rogue, the ranged rogue, and the mage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only 2 they kept picking on over and over.
Yeah, your D4 rolls were pretty good on that.
That wasn't a D4.
Oh, it was whatever then.
No, that was that was a determination by the wolves that
hit the weakest.
Ranged people are the least well armoured and the most dangerous to them because they do the opposite damage type to them.
Yep.
Melee. Yes.
Yeah, we ended up killing Yellowfang, and Jez turned his head into a hat. To go with his ponytail and tiger tail. Oh, sorry, red lion tail. Sorry. And then you told us after the fight, well, Yellowfang could have been a pet.
Yeah, hey Karak, with your animal handling and you just recently lost a dog, yeah, if you hadn't killed Yellowfang, things would have worked out a certain way. Knowing what I know was what's going to happen later.
Could have been a pet.
Yeah, Yellowfang could have become your pet, maybe, if the certain conditions had been met.
And of course Cat was like, oh, fuck it.
Direwolf pet. That levels with you.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome.
Well, you press on and you eventually find the hut.
Yes. Is it made of gingerbread? Was the first fucking question.
Yeah. Now, Karak, for some strange reason, wanted to burn it down.
Yep.
From the outside.
Yep.
Set it on fire.
Yep.
Witches don't like fire.
No, they don't.
Amelia wouldn't let him.
Of course she wouldn't.
You held him.
Of course I did.
There's an innocent inside.
Exactly. 2 innocents, technically. There's the girl and her child, unborn.
And little did you realise, Simon as well.
Well, we didn't know about him.
Who happened to be simple.
Very simple.
He's a woodsman. But you end up... Well, Tanador ends up asking me... knocking on the door, and there's no answer really, but he ends up opening the door. So it's quite a simple question. Is it unlocked? I'm like, well, you...
Test the lock. Well, test the handle.
Yes, it's unlocked. Okay.
Oh dear.
All these ideas of let's burn it down. Oh, it's unlocked.
I'm like, it's basically like touch fire. This is why we let Craig GM Cthulhu stuff.
I summon Gribblies.
Yeah. You should see him when we're playing Mansions. In hell are we screwed.
You met the witch, and turns out
the witch in the woods.
She's not really a witch. Well, she is, but she isn't.
She is, but she isn't.
She explained to you that she's actually been midwife to most of the kids, to most of those who have been ready to conceive in the town, and she brought Ardness into the world as well. Ardness, the girl's name is Ardness. I knew that they were going to take the pee all over that.
Well, Craig and Jez at least, anyway.
They always love a good silly name.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, I think the people writing these player-contained modules have been paying too much attention to the official ones because they have names like that in as well.
Yes.
Oh, what was it? Arda? Sister Arda? Inventiva? We got Arda and Ardness. And then we start with the Monty Python jokes while we're at it. This is my good friend. His name is Biggest Dickus.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget Band Trumhole. Trumhole. You ask, "Oh, can I see the girl?" And he says, "Yeah." She says, "Yeah." Look.
Well, Simon says, "Yeah," but I've got to have to get the missus first.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring the mistress, and you can speak to her, and you saw some elf fruit hanging up, and got a bit of an idea that she's a healer.
Yeah.
Turns out she's actually an apostate.
Not that I know that until she actually, until later on, anyway.
But you'll be happy to note that her entire spell list is support.
Creation magic.
That kind of thing. Buffs and heals. She
Haste, auras.
I think she can do. I think she's got a debuff, but no direct damage.
Which is probably why she didn't want to fight us in the first place.
She does no direct damage at all.
Which is probably what would have happened if we had decided to kill her. Yellowfang, if he had escaped, would have run like, "Rah!"
So I think she can heal, she can hex you, that kind of thing.
I'm guessing if we had decided to fight and Yellowfang was alive, his pack would come in and fight us. Simon would probably try to fight us.
Yeah.
And she would offer support and debuffs. I guess that's how it kind of probably would have gone down. But it
and
didn't.
heals. You had the sense to not engage her. She said, look, if you're going to take the girl, then you're going to take her. I can't stop you. You've killed the wolves. If you've managed to best them, you'll best me.
Yeah.
So, but just listen to me first. And she explained, look, and even got the girl out to explain to you. Jorg, her father, is...
Big spoiler on the way!
Big spoiler. He's a massive racist. He's an asshole.
To elves.
He doesn't like elves.
Not dwarves, but elves.
That's right. And it turns out that the father of the child, even though Artemis is human, is an elf.
Dalish. Yeah, we're having an half-elf bastard being born. We don't have that.
No,
That's
well,
bullshit.
he doesn't know.
Of course he doesn't.
She's scared to tell him because he'll overreact. Now, the group at this point have a moral choice. Do they take Artemis back? They have the clear route to be able to now. Having now been told that Jorg is a sod,
Yes.
he has hired them legitimately,
Yep, he has.
and you will get big rewards for bringing her back.
However, he didn't tell us the full story.
But had you brought her back, you'd have probably learned in the news sometime after, on a board somewhere,
That.
of her murder.
Yeah.
And of Jorg being a wanted criminal.
Yep.
Did you know also that it was suspected that he'd killed his wife?
That we didn't know.
If you'd
Because
have
we had asked around.
If you'd have asked around, there's certain bits of information that some is correct and some is not correct, and
Yeah,
you'd
the
have
whole
had
false leads deal.
you'd have had some of them. You decided to do the right thing, as you called it, because
What we believe to be the right
as
thing anyway.
Tanadil said, well, I want to be able to sleep at night, so screw the money, I say. We can get money anyway.
I was like, fuck.
This is a pretty law-abiding group, isn't it? But so when that twist came, how did you feel about it, sort of like story-wise? Did you think to yourself, saw it coming, or wow, okay, interesting?
I kind of expected something along the lines that we're going to get the other half of the story from this point, but what it was, I did not know.
So I think it delivered quite well, didn't it?
Now, Amelia is basically the lawful good pardon, for lack of a better description, so the right thing to do is, right, yeah, I would have been doing this for free in the first place. So, yeah. The only way we're getting out of this, realistically, without anyone else coming after us, is possibly take some sort of proof that the girl is dead.
Yes, so you wanted to take something of hers back to the father. But you were all in... And something of the witches. To show that you'd slain her.
It's just what Karak and freaking... No matter what Tanato kept fucking saying.
Go on.
God knows with this point.
Go on.
He kept suggesting removal of body parts. That would require her to still be alive.
Take her head back.
Yeah.
And he said, you know,
Of the girl.
she'd be dead, you know, if we did that.
And then it'd be kind of pointless in us.
There was a sort of, would she?
That's what I mean. How about a foot? No! It basically went down a list of just random body parts, and I was like,
it's just
for fuck's sake!
He's just a barbarian, isn't he? He's a big meat barbarian with a blade.
Yes, I is Conan. I shall swing my sword.
Tanadil smash. So
this is the type of barbarians you just get lumbered with, literally.
yeah, it's a group of specialists in an adventuring field. Sometimes you can't be choosy, can you?
And none of them are smart.
No, you can't be choosy sometimes, can you? You've got to try and band together in a world like this to survive.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. You decide to go with that. You want to take the stuff back to Jorg, but it's determined, well, we can't now leave. You've killed our wolves. So we're about to... Well, we can't make it on our own, probably, but we've got to try. We're leaving now, whether you come with us or not.
And if we hadn't gone with, they probably would have been dead. Considering what was about to happen afterwards.
So that was another way it could have ended.
Mm-hmm.
But you decided to accompany them.
Yep.
See, you guys You are controlling the story. How it ends is completely up to you.
Oh.
It's not me.
Well, kind of.
No, I can see lots of endings.
Well, it kind of is up to you, because you're going to convince us into wanting to do something over another
It's not my job to convince you.
But this is the point of you playing the characters, the NPCs, to convince us to do what we think is right.
Only to the point of what they would think, not to what I want them to say.
Same difference, ain't it?
Not quite. Not quite.
Same difference in the long run, because you're still playing them.
I've got to keep the characters' motivations in mind, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a guy...
Your motivation is to see it to the end.
Whatever that end is, even if it's a premature end. Even if you'd have just took her straight back to Yorg...
Be like, right, we're good, let's go. No.
I'd have been happy to call it there. You've done what you've wanted to do. I know I've studied a load of other stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just call it...
I think in a less morally aligned group, I think someone probably would just drag the girl back by her hair.
That's fine. But they're...
But I don't think any of my characters would really have that type of attitude.
There are consequences.
I mean, I can think of maybe one or two kind of ideas in my head of a character who would do that, but there's so few and far between.
You don't like playing those sorts, do you?
I don't like being the bad guy. It just isn't me.
It doesn't feel heroic to you, does it? The whole point of adventuring, being the hero. Went on the trip with them.
Yep.
And then you were attacked by these marauder types.
Chastened dudes.
That were quite a long way out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, just glad it was an Amber Rage ones. Because we would have been completely screwed.
You've cured the Amber Rage.
I know, I'm just saying, we could have missed one.
You better hope that doesn't come back.
If that comes back, we are totally screwed.
Well, no, you've left the cure.
Well.
It can regrow.
Yeah, how long is it going to take to regrow?
Well, there we are.
That's the problem, ain't it?
There we go. So, anyway, the attack isn't all that effective. Usually, with these roguey types, they're hitting with 1d6 plus whatever damage.
Yeah, it's basically got to a point with Amir. It's like, right, Rob, what's the damage they can do max before we take into stunts?
Because even if they hit you...
they probably can't hurt me.
Exactly, and the only way is going to be to try and prop pierce armours.
Or mighty blows. And even then, they're going to have to pull up top-end damage to do most of that.
Yeah. You're not really, even though you're in tier 1, you're level 4. You're not a tier 1 character anymore.
I'm in heavy plate.
You're probably what? Level 7 really, realistically?
I'm in heavy plate and I've got like a defense of 16.
And they give you heavy plate in tier 1.
Yeah.
That's shocking really, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they do that.
I mean, I've got an armor of 10, a defense of 16 because I've got like a heavy shield as well. God knows how that's going to end up.
There's a huge difference between the damage others take and the damage you take. You really are.
I'm like, right, that's 1 point. Oh, that's 0 points. That's another 2 points. Is it only when I get hit by an armor-penetrating attack am I like, right, that's 10 points off?
I'll say this. For a system that lets you try and be what you want to be, in MMO game terms and stuff like that even.
To a point.
It really did let you be a tank. I mean, would D&D let you be such a sufficient tank?
No. Because you don't have armor. You have armor class, which is how easy it is to hit you. Basically, Dragon Age defense. But how it works is 10 plus dex bonus plus armor bonus plus shield bonus and whatever other random modifiers you might have.
So all that armor, that minus wounds, which acts just like Dark Heresy, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get a toughness bonus, but hey. The fact that I'm only taking like 1 point of damage on a hit.
I bet you...
I'm like, the fucks.
You really feel like a tank, don't you?
I'm sitting there, and I've got like 5 guys hitting me, and not a single one can hurt me. And if they do, they're doing so little damage, my health is going like...
You've just got to hope...
It's only when I get hit by Hurlocks with their great weapons, or armor-piercing weapons, and armor-penetrating like spells, I'm like, poof. Real fast.
Healers have got to keep an eye on you then.
Tanadil goes down quicker. He's got heavy mail, but he's going down quicker than me because that's only 7 points.
Yeah.
Craig and Pete are going...
Well, yeah. Although
Craig's got armor
Karak now, has the rock armor.
Which is equal to his magic.
Which is
in armor points.
Which is 5, isn't it? His magic.
So he's wearing at least light
God,
mail.
That's amazing. Magic
Actually, he's
5.
wearing like in between. I think he's wearing light mail, basically like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, heavy level's like 4, and light mail's is a 5. Heavy mail's a 7.
Incredible.
So he's wearing light mail and accounts for that rock armor spell.
That really did save him.
It is helping.
A lot of pain, didn't it? You really saw it.
Yeah. Unlike every other session before he learnt that spell, he's like, right, that's another fucking 15 health off of me. How bad, almost one-shotted me there, Rob. Why you got to roll those 6s?
You killed those marauders, nasty things, pretty easily. A lot of them ran off.
It's like, oh, this one has a bow. Just this random one.
I mean, sometimes it comes down to, when a fight's over, it's best not to really flog a dead horse any longer. And just say, you'd all kill him and you'd finish him off. All right, go on. Because it's no fun, is it?
Not really.
Ganging up, like 4 or 6 of you against like 2 guys or something like that.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. It was a bit silly because we actually entered the fight with like, okay, there's like, hold on, 10 of you, 4 of us, I make that Pim's a clock, don't you? I'm back and taking the piss.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it was like, right, there's a ton of you there. Yeah, wielding crappy weapons and armor. And then there's us. Especially me, with this glowing magic fucking sword of fireness around it. In heavy plate mail.
Well, it's not fire.
Well, it's not real fire.
It's lyrium.
It gives off a fiery-esque glow, is what I'm saying.
A lyrium glow.
Well, whatever. Type of thingamajig. It's like, look.
Silvery.
Yes, silver flame. Look, let me have my moment, okay? Please. I want a fiery sword. The whole deal is basically, right, I'm standing here, full plate, kite shield and sword of imbalance. I'm like, look. And we got Tando over there with his heavy mail and a big-ass fucking sword. There's at least 2 of us here who are going to kick your ass just by ourselves. Do you really want to fucking do this?
They did. But they've got to. They're mooks. Plus, they are plot devices.
Yes, plot device.
Because even though they ran, the last one popped up and fired at hardness.
It was like, boof.
Which is what the real thing here was to do. And of course, the old woman jumps in the way of the arrow and takes it instead. And then she says, don't bother trying to heal me. I have used magics to live
gasp magics
far beyond my years. I'm an unnatural age. No magical healing can help me.
Yeah.
Her body
is a wizard. Well, mage. But you know what I mean.
Yes. And so it was at this point that had Yellowfang still been alive and with the group, then he would have stayed with the body. And then you could have, if you'd have took her back and had her buried, then you could have ended up with Yellowfang as a pet to Karak, maybe.
But we didn't do
Yellowfang
that.
unlocked.
Yeah, but we didn't do that. No achievements for us. Well, not that particular achievement, anyway.
A specific way to unlock Yellowfang, the direwolf. So.
Yes, in a computer game, you have unlocked a special character.
So, onwards you went.
Yes, but there was one small thing we had to do.
Hmm?
Rowan, it's like, if we're going to the Dalish, take this staff with you.
No.
Because it is a Dalish keeper's staff, and they bequeathed it to me because I am a friend of the Dalish.
Yes, see, the idea before was, at least, the Karak was saying, how do we know that the Dalish will listen to us? And she said, well, because I'm with you. Yeah.
And how will we know they'll listen to you?
That's because I'm a member of them now.
Explain.
But the only problem is, now she's dying.
Yep.
Not good.
Yep. So I must pass the staff on for the mage. And he's like, is it a magic staff? Yes, it is Karak, it is a magic staff. Yes, I have magic staff now! I'm not going to let them have it back, I'm keeping it.
Yes.
He says.
So, again,
He was complaining about the fact he could never get a magic weapon of his own.
It's amazing that this really has fallen into his lap, and it couldn't have got a better one. It procs off of creation spells, and he wants to go spirit healer.
Yeah, which are creation spells.
You pressed on into the Dalish camp. Phelan comes along.
Crossbow out already.
The Dalish draw their bows. They're sort of ready for trouble. You walk into the camp, show the staff. The keeper comes. You explain the story to the elves guarding the gate, and out comes the keeper, and then it all... You're allowed in. You convince the keeper. All right, yeah, this is the father here. You had to actually do a role. You had to have a spokesperson for the group.
Yeah, this is where we start getting all meta game. He was like, who's got the highest communication? Who has the focus?
So you decide somebody.
It's like, Karak, you do it.
That's Karak. He's the most persuasive of you. So he managed to convince him. Yes, take her in. She'll just make you stronger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fine, all right. So we have a human now with us.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So then, by the way, if you hadn't convinced her, things could have turned out completely different again.
Mm-hmm.
Convinced him, to take her in, because the father of the child would have been stubborn and said, well, I'm still leaving with her then, and they'd have probably moved to Denerim.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah. So lots of different things can happen.
Although we probably would still have had a slightly similar outcome of what was about to happen next.
Well, what happened next was quite interesting, because a whole bunch of enraged corpses appeared. Now, these are zombies.
Essentially.
Just pouring out of the wood. And
one came out of the woods, and it was on fire! Because the elf could smell trouble following us, and their smell of burning flesh.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Turns out that Yorg, crazy Yorg,
crazy, very crazy,
he had kind of got peed off that you hadn't come back.
He was tired of waiting. So what does he do? Something very, very stupid.
Maybe he'd found out even that it was an elf.
Maybe, but who would?
Because the fact that he attacked the camp. Maybe he...
But who told him is the question.
Maybe he beat it out of somebody.
Maybe.
He was crazy. He'd snapped, hadn't he, really? He'd gone over the edge with paranoia.
Considering how he ended up, yeah.
And he took the abomination potion. And it changed him.
It turned him into an abomination.
It captured his inner turmoil and released it into physical state. And in this case, it was... all of his rage, all of his prejudice, all of his paranoia.
Rage demon inbound to take over your soul and body.
Now, this particular one, he slaughtered the entire township and killed every single person
between there
and the Dalish camp,
where we were,
including Simon. Raised Rowan's body,
and
Simon's body,
and everyone in the village's body.
And they all came and attacked the Dalish camp. And then this mad fight against zombies broke out, led by an abomination.
Yeah.
Now, this is when things got crazy. Now, Amelia and Tanador, the two warriors, instantly decided, we're going to go straight after the abomination.
Well, I was like, I'm a Templar. That's an abomination. These guys are Dalish. They all know how to fight. So, yeah. That thing's gonna die.
In a fight like this, the important thing is to really give the party a sense of snippets of what's going on around them. Let them know that there are lots of other fights happening as well.
And there's enough zombies for us to be ganged up on 4-on-1 at the very least anyway. No matter, even if we do have allies, there'll be a ton more.
Because the allies are fighting their own zombies.
Yep.
That aren't being reflected.
It's like the siege at Redhold, where, yes, you may be having like X amount come in, but there's also those coming in over here which your allies are fighting, and the ones that you're not seeing on the walls because your other allies are fighting them.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was just all around you. So you and Tanador are on the abomination, cutting him. Now, he's got a couple of really cool stunts.
Mm-hmm. he seemed to proc a couple of them quite a bit.
Yeah, he did.
You
didn't
rolling
he?
doubles quite a few times. I
Yeah.
could see it happening every now and then because it was like this side of the screen.
I'm a
that
scary
came up.
GM, aren't
And I
I?
was like, dude, one of those is a 6. And you were like, yeah, that's the Dragon Die proc. I'm like, fuck.
See, what keeps... Have you noticed that I'm a scary GM because I use the real dice results?
Yeah, you don't fudge nothing.
He is able to raise the dead. So
For
bring
starters.
new enraged corpses up as part of his stunts. And also, he does a drain life spell. He takes some of your life
As he did on me.
and gives it back to him as a heal.
He did that on me once.
As a stunt. That's a spell.
Normally, yeah.
That's his stunt. That is cool, isn't it?
Well,
Don't you love how each abomination is different?
first there was the elf one.
Yeah, Mithalan.
Yes, Mifan.
With the rage fire thing he can do.
Yep. And Brianna was technically the first one we faced.
Her with the mind control.
And the claws of eldritchness that cut through my armour, but didn't because we kind of forgot about it. But continued onwards anyway.
Yes. So,
And then I think there was another abomination after that. We had Mepharlin, Brianna. Oh yeah, Mr. Freaking Thingamafoo in Desire Demon dude.
yep.
K, beginning with a C.
Yes. That was nice, wasn't it?
And that was the previous adventure as well.
It was.
You see, we're pissing off mages and taking down demons. These demons are not going to like us.
Mm. But, you know, that's what you do in Dragon Age.
If we ever end up in the Fade, we're fucked.
You fight abominations.
Well, we have ended up in the Fade at least once.
Yes.
And that's the thing about Dragon Age 2 that got on my nerves.
What's that then?
The amount of fucking blood mages. Blood mages and demons and abominations. Where are you going with this, BioWare? Oh, I'm sorry. You actually want me to be taking Templar as a warrior? Is that what you want me to do? Because that's the best option right now, no matter what fucking variation of warrior I'm taking. Two-handed or sword and shield. Just for the deep dispel abilities and the hurting mages and fade beasties damage that I can pull off because of it. That's basically how I went down when I played a warrior. I was like, right, so, Templar, Berserker.
Don't even get me started on how stupid that fade thing was
Oh dear God.
against your allies.
You know, there's only 2 characters that cannot be turned. Varric, because he's a dwarf, and apparently Sebastian. If you have the DLC. But also Sebastian, in most variations, will not go into the Fate in the first place because he's a man of faith and it's the Maker's Realm. I will not go there, bullshit.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
You're fighting the abomination. He's got a big health pool.
Very big health pool.
So you're not able to cut him down yet. Meanwhile, zombies are
And
coming
he's
up.
got armour too.
Yeah.
And he's wielding the magic sword!
Zombies are coming up behind you guys and doing their strangle attacks.
Yeah.
And you're getting ganged up on, beaten upon by these zombies. Pretty much.
They're
most of
hitting,
it's-
but they're not doing much
It's
damage.
not doing an awful lot, but
At least not to me.
Tanador was starting to take it a lot, and those strangle attacks, when they get hold of you and really grip,
Armour piercing.
they are penetrating.
Yeah.
And as such, Tanador was going flying
It
down.
was like, fuck, mate, you might want to get over here and cast a heal on me. And Carrick was like, yep. As soon as I get a mind blast to knock all these bastards down.
Yeah, because Karak was split because he was surrounded by zombies all over him.
Yeah.
Phelan
He had
was-
like 6 on him at once. Phelan was like 6
Phelan-
on him at once, taking quite a beating himself.
Yeah, he was actually taking a fair beating,
He actually
yeah.
managed to kill a zombie by himself. 1.
Yeah.
Me, I killed no zombies, but I ended up dealing the finishing blow to flipping York.
Tanador went down into dying state.
Yeah, and
He
in
took
the
he took a severe blow,
yeah, quite a lot.
which is probably going to scar.
In realistic terms, yes.
Mm.
I mean, I managed to just so happened to manage to get the finishing blow, which weakened these zombies' effect really, so they were easily cut down and
Probably a cracked rib,
maybe,
sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the zombies with the death of York in his abomination form.
He got over there and got a heal on him in the end.
Yeah, we had time after that while the zombies were slowing down and falling over and being killed, and lots of arrows pouring into them from all over.
Yes.
Karak was like, do, heal.
Yes, and remember, we've created a heal radius that is Karak's spell power. The day was won.
Hooray!
Artemis was saved. And she lived happily ever after with the Dalish elves.
We did the right thing, but we ended up having an entire village slaughtered because of it.
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
A bit ticked off.
But if you'd have took her back, then the girl would have been slaughtered and the village would have survived.
Yes, well, here's the thing. Here's something I've come across. You know how they say the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few?
Mm-hmm.
If you start sacrificing what is supposed to be the needs of the few, those many become the few, and then those few become the one. In the long term. And you're going to end up with no one left able to be saved. So you have to go with what you believe to be right. If you can save everyone, then you're bloody lucky.
You've got to, in a very morally ambiguous system like this, you've got to try and tell yourself something. Because I've heard about a lot of groups that really do feel screwed up and have even had a go at their GMs because of the nature of Dragon Age. They've said, "Why are you doing this to me?
I'm not doing it. It's the world.
Why are you putting me through these choices? This is doing me in."
Yeah, that's the thing about the computer game that never really came across so much, because you could easily go back and reload a save and do something a bit differently just because you didn't like this particular one outcome.
Although I never did. I always accepted it at face value and got angry about it.
Which is realistic.
All I can tell you is that the next thing you guys are going to be coming up against, planned, is a conversion to Dragon Age from Labyrinth Lord.
What's that? I kid.
The starter.
The starter, huh?
A dungeon run.
Dungeon runs! We like dungeon runs.
That's all you're going to know. But, I promise, there will be no wolves.
No, we're in a dungeon. If I see wolves in a dungeon, I'd be so seriously wondering why.
And you will be facing at least one new thing that you've never fought before.
That sounds very interesting.
When Tanador went down, this was the first time
he's ever been taken down.
Exactly.
I mean, Amelia went down during the Siege of Redhold at least once. And Karak's gone down at least once.
Yeah.
Amelia came very close to it, actually. Against Mama Brianna. She was like 4 points of health off. And if we had remembered that, well, if you had particularly remembered the first time Amelia got hit, that the attack was armor piercing, or armor penetrating, she would have been on 0 health points after Karak blasted her with a fucking rock.
Yeah, see, the team really didn't have it together there, did they?
We've kind of grown slightly towards more now each other as the time has gone on.
Yes.
No, let's put it this way. Amelia can't go handing Tanadil over to the Templars. No, Karak over to the Templars.
Yes. She'd hand Tanador over to the Templars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Karak, not so much, because
Tanador would then hand the Templars back over to Amelia.
Yeah.
And saying, "You dropped this crushed ball of metal."
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. Karak works for House Baranti. Amelia works for House Baranti. They're meant to be working together. Blah, 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 blah. Also, he also owes me 10 silver.
Phelan works for House Brandy. Even before he met you.
Yes, but Karak also owes me money.
Yes, well.
As soon as he gives me that 10 silver back, he's going to get it.
You're in a bit of a funny position, though, as well, because you're not a full-fledged Templar.
Not yet.
You've still got to get to level 6.
Still got to get to level 6, and that's like...
But Lady Baranti said she'd write you a letter of recommendation immediately.
Yeah.
And you're straight in.
Yeah. Yes, and then I'll become a Grey Warden as well while I'm at it, shan't I?
No, she can't write you a letter for that, I'm
Well,
afraid.
obviously not, but you get my point. After everything we've done with the Darkspawn... Jesus Christ.
It's inevitable that you'll want to do that. You'll
want to do it. But with all the Darkspawn we've been fighting, I wouldn't be surprised if the Wardens are like, this group is rather interesting. Let us investigate some more, because we have large beards.
Yes.
Let's rival the dwarf. We shall stroke these beards down to here.
Talking of Darkspawn, tune in. Next session.
Especially you. You're running it. You've got to tune in. And I got to tune in. I'm playing the damn thing.
Yes. But you, at home, for the vidcast, because we're going to be covering what happened next in the Frostback Mountains.
We're going back to the Frostback Mountains? Oh dear.
But, until that time, I'll see you at the table.
And I shall see you, well, somewhere. In between the table and the chair.
Okay, I'm switching the device off now.
Ta-da!
I summon Gribblies.
Yeah, you should see him when we're playing Mansions. In hell are we screwed.
Yeah.
That's what we played. Rob ended it on like the third turn. By complete accident.
I opened the fridge.
You opened the fridge, you released a beast. We didn't know it was going to happen.
I went for a snack.
It says, yeah. Oh, there's possibly something in there. I'm going in. Oh, game over. What the balls?
There was cards in there to discover.
Exactly.
Of course I'm going in there.
Your character died. Oh, I win. What do you mean you win? If anyone opens the fridge, I win.
Anyway.
Or was it freezer? Either way.
I was looking for an extra cold snack.
An ice cream. You were wanting to stop for ice cream.
I stopped for ice cream and
It got us killed.
I ended up in limbo. Riding a sandworm.
Yeah. You should have stopped at a gift shop, not for ice cream.
There's always a gift shop on the way out.
Yeah. We weren't on the way out. That's the problem.
Oh, we were. Just from Earth.
Yeah, that's the issue. Oh dear. Oh well. Never mind.